Okay, so you just finished eating kimchi.
I didn't eat kimchi.
What was it?
It was cabbage salad.
But what was the big...
Well, I was running late, so I had cabbage salad with leftover Korean meat, but then I also had leftover meatballs and sausage that were like Italian style.
Yes.
Because I needed protein. I didn't have enough protein in my Korean, so then I added that to my... I mixed it up with my Asian salad.
Sounds good. Thanks for taking us down a deep dive of your lunch.
I'm that Thanksgiving person that like mixes it all together to make.
And you're also in like a new thing, eating thing. What's the new eating thing you're doing?
My body's just not working so well, so I'm trying to
kind of fix it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked Instagram a couple hours ago, hey, if Heather and I could answer any questions for you. What
world problems?
Yeah. What as far as parenting, the question exactly was, if Heather and I did a parenting series on Human Hope, which it's happening, but also, are you going to be on more than just this one? Yes, you're going to be on.
Bergstroms.
Yeah, the Bergstroms. You're going to be on. Okay, so you'll kind of be all throughout this series, I think.
I don't know who the other people.
I did Whitney. Who else did I interview for this one? Oh, Paula Ferris. Oh, and Sissy and David.
Oh, I was on
and you were on that one too.
That was my elbow.
Oh, sorry. So, babe, so this is really...
Yeah, I'm going to physical therapy for my elbow. I go to the doctor to get some warts removed. It's just,
You were creeping up on 50.
No, you are. A couple months.
I am. So, I've got questions.
Okay.
And...
we haven't finished parenting.
We haven't. Okay, so first and foremost, just know this. I don't know. Is this going to be the first episode in the series? I think so. It may as well just start with us.
To the wisdom of the Whittakers.
First thing I'll let everybody know is we are in no way, shape, or form parenting experts.
No.
Like, we still have a 17-year-old that could end up incarcerated.
Absolutely.
Like, there could be a lot of bad things that could still happen. We have a 21-year-old that could end up incarcerated. So take it or leave it. I feel like this
doesn't mean that you're a bad parent if your kid goes to jail.
Yes. Thank you for that.
You went to jail.
I did. I don't think anybody knows that.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We have?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if Whitney knows that.
They may have to dig back a little bit in the...
Yeah. Oh, I think I did ask this question. If anybody has access to Atlanta, Fulton
We're chasing
County,
a rabbit. Keep going.
Mugshots. I'm trying to find mine.
Okay.
I just couldn't find it. Okay. All of that to say, we're not experts. We obviously have opinions. We do feel like our kids have ended up somewhat.
We're proud of our kids.
We're proud of our kids because and again, the goal of the parenting isn't for your kids to not have problems.
Right.
It's for them to be able to navigate those problems.
Right. Our kids have hit some huge problems.
Yes.
Adult problems.
Yes.
And yet what we're proud of is how they adulted through them.
Yes. Or, adulted, even teenage. We're not necessarily saying they hit some teenage problems.
Oh, for sure. But they were mature enough.
Yes.
That's what I mean in adulting. They had maturity and...
Not that they just hit it in adulthood.
No.
Okay.
No.
Got it.
Sorry.
Got it. Okay. No, that's good. So I'm just gonna go. And
that's a lot.
And it's only been on for 30 minutes, I think.
We're gonna get to 3.
We are, because Heather has to leave in 35 minutes.
I got my wart doctor, guys.
Oh, gross.
I know. It's disgusting. It's a virus.
It's on your foot too, by the way. Can I tell them where your wart is?
On my foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know if you were going to let me do that. Ready? Here's the first one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Oh, man. Let's just start with the very, very first one.
Okay.
Fostering sibling relationships.
That's good.
Only child here. So this is someone that is an only child. So it's all new to me.
Okay.
How do you foster sibling relationships? Let me go first, because I know you were about to just start dumping. I love the fact that are you having a junior high moment when I said dumping?
No. I was just thinking of the time that you put Sohaila and Sayana in one of your extra large shirts and made them stay together.
Yes, until they could work it out. I did. I put them in I think it was an Atlanta Falcons jersey.
That's all that I together. Just had a picture of.
Yes. So
fostering. I don't know if that was the right call, but.
No. And you know what? First, let me just go very practical here. Our kids shared rooms, like the same location where they slept.
All 3.
All 3 of them.
Not because we didn't have extra rooms.
No. for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about till Losiah was 13?
No, he probably was like
12. I mean, he's 17
10.
now. So you think
11.
7 years?
Oh, no, they shared here.
No, they shared here. I think 12.
Okay. Somewhere
So
around there.
Losiah's 17. All three of our kids shared space with each other.
At the very beginning, Losiah had his own room and he was never in his room. He was always in his sister's unless to sleep or nap. And I'm like, why am I wasting a bedroom for a child to only sleep and nap in there? So we moved them all three together.
We did.
Remember when we had them in the closet with bunk, like three beds?
So, you know, like the shallow closets that you find and they just have sliding doors that kind of, V out. We took those and we literally put, I just put like 3 sheets of plywood in there.
JT made it for us.
And we stacked the kids up in there because they wanted more room to dance in their room.
They wanted a dance party. Mm-hmm.
All of this to say, my first inclination to lean into this question is, why do we feel like in America that the American dream is every kid has to have their own room? Like that just that wasn't what we did. Even again, when we finally had room, we are currently in a home and our 21-year-old daughter and 19-year-old daughter are still in the same room doing the roommate thing.
But don't you think this isn't about parenting, but it's just the American individual spirit that every time we come home from another country, we're like, oh, because it's just, we love the community and the just family and just life in other countries.
Yeah.
Because we literally feel it when we walk off the plane.
Right.
And so I think that probably has a little bit to do with it. I think bigger is better has a lot to do with it. Everyone needs their own room. Everyone has their own space. I don't know.
Yeah. We have just found that one of the things that we did was cram them in rooms together.
You know what we also did? And I got this from Jacinda, who is my best friend, if you guys don't know that. Her girls, she had 3 girls, and she literally just did it, which is so fun. Because what they would do is they had a 3-person home or a 3-bedroom home, not person, a 3-bedroom home. And so how they would do it is they would rotate. So every 6 months.
We did this too.
I know, that's what I'm getting to.
Sorry.
Every 6 months, one child would have their own room, and then 6 months later they would rotate. And it actually was phenomenal to see, because we started to do that too. At some point. And it was interesting to see the different dynamics play out in your kids. It was not the typical relationship that they had. Did you just do that on camera?
I did. I just put my fake teeth in because I want to practice. I want to practice talking with it.
Take that out. You can't do it on a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, babe, you stutter.
Okay, keep going.
So anyways, it was just really cool. And again, it just helped foster different relationships. Like what would happen when you took the bossy one out? What would happen when the 2 emotional ones got together? What would happen when a boy and a girl only shared with one of the sisters shared a room? Like it just really changed it. And it was hard because it brought up things that, when you get comfortable in a situation, you kind of have your roles to play.
Absolutely.
And then it shifted the roles. And that was what was really cool, because it was in a safe environment that we were allowed to teach our kids how to handle and engage in a different way. So anyways, I just thought of that.
No, that is good. That is good. I mean, again,
next question. Come on.
Fostering. Well, hold on. This is a good question.
Eating lunch.
We may end up doing, I mean, now that I think about it, that it's taken us 8 minutes and 53 seconds to answer one question. We may end up just doing an entire parenting podcast series. No, like a whole show. You don't think so? You wouldn't do just a parenting show? How come?
No.
Okay. Thanks for that question. Do you have another one that you see? Heather is looking right now. She's looking.
Lots of how to navigate girl drama.
Let's go. How to navigate girl drama / emotion / tween years.
It was really funny. Right now, I went, 2 of my good friends that I hang out with often right now are in little kid land, which is funny. They have from a newborn to, I think, 8 is the oldest. And there's 6 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah.
We just went to the creek and the boys are carrying these big boulders and they are filthy. They have mud all over them. They are digging in places that girls would never put their hands in, even though I have outdoor girls. But it just was boy and mess and just, like, sorry about that. And it was so different because Josiah, although a boy, grew up with 2 girls. So just like my brother, they were dressing. I dressed up my brother in little dresses as the girls did too. He was staring, watching them. He would bring his little car, Lightning McQueen toy into like play with the Barbies, it was the Barbie's car. And so it was just he didn't have that rough and tough thing. So the teenage girls, we got you. What was it? Like year 11 through 14 was awful for both of our girls. I felt like they came back around 14. When they turned 14, both of them came back. They became normal functioning girls. But they're really close. They are 17 months in age and their personalities just match. And so, in the sense of they're completely opposite and they just work together. And so, yes, they fight. Yes, there's drama. Yes, literally, like we pick up Sayana from the tour bus because Carlos and Sayana just got home this week from tour. Sohaila has Sayana's jeans on. And
this is 3 days ago.
This was 3 days ago. And like apparently Sohaila texted a couple times, but Sayana never got back. So she wore them anyways. And so Sayana was mad. And literally they had just like
reunited.
Yes. And we're so excited to see each other. And then they were fighting. And so it's like you pick and choose the things that, they're going to fight over the clothes because they're teenage girls. And yes, we continually have to teach Sohaila. We're not throwing her under the bus. She knows this is public knowledge that she likes to just go and take things.
It's really public now.
But she likes to go into a closet and take things. And
hey, listen, that is my daughter.
That you do that. You will come home from your parents' house with like your dad's undershirt on or like all the things.
Okay, got it.
Drama.
Yeah.
How did you handle the girls when they were dramatic? Because I remember days when Sohaila would just be crying and she didn't know why. And you would just look at me with a blank stare like, what are we doing? Yeah.
Well, again, here's the other thing to know. Like, we're speaking in broad generalizations here. Obviously, there's boys that maybe from 11 to 15 have whatever their issues. There are girls that are, more into riding bikes and playing soccer than playing Barbies and all the things. But I think it's okay to say that girls in general probably are struggling with what this question is.
Girls are more expressive.
Yeah.
Because we've taught them to, right?
Yeah.
Boys have to be tough. Even, yes. And so girls.
And we'll hear about that in the Dave and Sissy conversation.
Girls have learned to be able to be more expressive.
Yeah. How did I navigate that? Losai is walking by right now. Losai didn't have to navigate that because he just kind of was the in-between, was their little the little brother. But I think in remembering the drama, it was more how can I support. Like, Sayana was making you cry all the time. And I just kept thinking, like, I would go to Sayana and I was like, baby, I remember one time I literally looked at her before a trip and I said, can you try to not make your mom cry like this entire, like for the next 3 days? And I just remember her looking at me going, I don't know if I can do that. Because she actually talked about this on tour a little bit. She's like, she was working through stuff. And so remembering that, like, they're becoming women.
Yeah.
Like they're and they've got a lot of feelings, and let them feel. If they're big feelers, let them feel. Don't try to suppress the feelings. So when you start maybe picking up on some of that, maybe drama, don't suppress it, but maybe just redirect it.
And I also think, like, is it just drama for Caddy's sake, or is it really like a deeper issue? Are they being triggered by something? Is there something else? I always tell the girls, like, if somebody's is being rude or acting terrible to you, there's something else going on. Like, they're not just trying to be rude to you. Like, they are hurt. And so, like, I feel like kind of at the teenage years is when we started to learn more about that.
Yes.
And so it really helped our kids in understanding why people are acting a certain way, even if it's their sisters or brother or you or me.
And again, we've said this every time we've talked about parenting, which may be 5 times on the podcast, 5 episodes. We are just big believers in other voices speaking into to the emotions of your kids. And so for us, it was Daystar, it was Sissy, it was Dave,
pastor.
It was our pastor, it was close friends. Like it was people that could speak in and that our kids would trust to listen to. That was huge.
I mean, I love when just my girls have Marco Polos with like women that I'm friends with that like, I'm like, yes, please Marco Polo them and ask them questions.
No, absolutely. So good. Okay. Good one. That one only took 7 minutes.
Okay.
Sweet. We're
going to get to 5.
Yeah. Here we go. I like this one. I like this one. Oh wait, they all switched on me here. I refreshed it and all switched. How about this one? Family rules and or guidelines as kids get older. Technology, driving, dating, etc. Big one, big wide. This could be a whole episode in and of itself. But what do you think, babe? I'll let you start.
Well, I think it's a hard question because it depends on your kid and it depends on your family and it depends on their outside influences. And so for us, I was a very, very big advocate and very strict in keeping my word when they were young. Like if I said, I'm going to give away your toys, and if you don't clean up, thinking that threat would motivate them, and then it didn't, I literally went in and took a bag and took their toys to the Goodwill. So like,
oh man, and you know what?
Only like
it hurt me more than it hurt them.
It did. Yeah, one tough. Or 2 times. They have more than enough. But all the things like your word is just the gold. Your word is the gold. Standing firm to your word, because then they trust you, even if it means that you have to do some things that are like firm or yikes, that's kind of hard. Like they trust that your word is true, whether that's a good word or a harsh word, they trust it. So I think rules are different than expectations. I think rules are hard. Hard set. Non-negotiables. But we've also taught our kids, like we have a summer rule, right now with Losiah. He has summer school, so he's doing a class, and he has the rules. We laid it out, and then this week he's like, I actually want to talk about negotiating it.
Yeah, about changing the rules.
Let's talk about negotiating it. So we're not dictators where this is our rule and there's nothing else. But like we teach our kids to, hey, let's discuss, let's negotiate, let's figure this out,
and knowing that every rule is going to shift as ages shift.
Absolutely.
And I'm actually...
And each kid too.
And the parent.
Oh, that's good.
So how about this? How about the fact that yes, every kid's going to be different at age 10, but also I'm a different parent.
Absolutely.
Parenting Losiah at age 17 versus parenting Sohaila at 17.
Yep.
Today, Human Hope is partnering with Simple Modern, a fast-growing company that's one of the top drinkware providers to Target, Walmart, and Amazon. And y'all have seen me talking. You've heard me talking. You've seen me drinking out their 40-ounce Trek tumbler all over my Instagram. But here's the problem. Losiah, my son, has stolen it. Okay, so now I got to buy another one. Losiah has actually stolen my tumbler from Simple Modern, and I want to let you know I need another one, because here's the beautiful thing, and I'm going to buy it from them, not from Amazon, not from somewhere else, because the best part is that Simple Modern gives 10% of their profits to nonprofits that are committed to causes like solving the water crisis, fighting human trafficking, education, ending homelessness, and so much more. I love it. So this is what I want you to do. Go to www.simplemodern.com/humanhope, and by sharing your email, you'll get a unique discount code just for you, or bundle and save for back to school. Our next partner is Athletic Greens, and I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally. I've been accused of saying literally too much, but it's because everything I do, literally, I take it every day, okay? I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health, but it ended up giving me increased energy. Honestly, I just don't get sick, okay? And I have a hard time taking pills and vitamins and trying to figure out which one works and why I need to take it. I take AG1 in the morning, right before I drink my coffee.
And you know what? Sometimes I realize I don't even need to drink my coffee because it's giving me some energy. Okay. It's hard for me to keep up with supplements that come from, all kinds of different places. Why not just take a scoop of AG1? Because that is what it is. It is a supplement with so much stuff in it. Over 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that give me all kinds of benefits. All right, so my AG1 is sent to me every single month, so it's easy to take. They even give you little free travel packs, which, listen to this, if you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, and here it is, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/human hope. That's athleticgreens.com/human hope. Check it out.
So I think, as you grow, as you change, and also the dynamics of your kid, you have to learn to speak each other's language. You have to learn how to, like Losiah, or, even today I was talking to my friend and they were like, what's Losiah's currency? I'm like, I've been trying for 17 years to find his currency, meaning what is his pain point? What would he hate losing? Right. And like, so Hayla was like, when she was young, if I took away her piggy, her little stuffy, oh my gosh, the world came to an end. And so she would do anything, and Sayana, like everyone had their own. Sayana was like, if she went and sat on the naughty corner and like gathered herself and then came back, she would then come back and apologize. But like Losiah, he's so complex. He's 17. I haven't figured out what is the thing. He wouldn't care. He like, whatever.
I think I know it.
You can take away my phone. You can take away whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is true. It's more complicated with him. To find it. But
I'm still trying, right? Like you continue to try to figure out your kids, how they tick. What?
Yep. It is true. So so again, family guidelines and rules shift as kids get older and as we get older. And so again, with technology
and beliefs and culture and like there's just so much in there. But it's good.
Yeah. So again, we can't give you any hard rules because they all keep changing.
See, we told you we can't do a parenting podcast.
Yeah. Wow. What a long way to say, I don't know. Okay. How about this one? Parenting 18 plus.
Ooh.
How to teach independence, comma. Well, I don't know why I said comma instead of just pausing. How to teach independence. Wanting to be responsible in a teen. What do you think, babe? Oh, I have an idea.
Okay.
Put them on a plane, send them to Paris for 2 months, through 2.5 months on their own, and they'll learn independence really quickly.
Yeah, I think that doesn't start at 18. I think that starts at 2, right? Like when they're able to eat for themselves, or you're constantly, that is our goal as parents. We're constantly trying to release them into another stage of independence. So whether that's eating, whether that's getting dressed by themselves, whether that's unloading the dishwasher and doing their dishes, and like all those things are steps for preparing for that. So I think at 18, it's like, okay, now you actually get to, like Sayana is like, the IRS is out for me because she got a bill for the IRS. No, they're not out for you. You just have to pay your taxes. And so that kind of stuff is just, it's fun as they're 18, but I also think that like we should be doing it as they grow.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not adding anything else to that. I like this one. How to handle teaching your kids about interacting with kids who aren't raised with the same values. Right? So friends with, again.
Cousins. We have cousins that are, my sister and I love each other, but we just have different value systems. Yeah.
Different value systems. So how did you teach the kids that? Because say it isn't necessarily family, say it's just friendships, and they realize, I think for me, there's an understanding that my kid is always going to test the boundary of our value system. I think that's okay. I think that you set up your value systems, you teach your value systems, you show your value systems. I can't say value systems 3 times fast, but just as Jim would say, Jim, one of our pastors, he's a former pastor of our church. He'd say, with kids, most things are caught then dropped, or caught then taught.
but meaning that they're catching these things.
I was going to say model it. Like have people in your home that think differently and have different values than
you just said that a lot quicker than I was saying it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Find people that don't have the same value system as you, be friends with them in front of your kids, and then watch your kids go, oh, this is possible.
Yeah.
This is available. Like this is something I can do. Would that be your answer?
That's my answer.
Okay, great. Let's see. Oh, I mean, how about this one? This is a little bit different, but Mean Girls.
Ooh.
How to keep from raising one.
Oh, that was a twist.
Yeah, a little twist. Dun, dun, dun.
Gosh.
Now, Mean Girls. This, I'm reading that, and I'm assuming this is just like this is a thing. I didn't.
Don't you remember Sohaila? Sohaila had the worst time.
Oh yeah, with Mean Girls in her. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, there's a reason a Mean Girl's mean.
100%. So,
again, this is me not even knowing what necessarily what Mean Girls means, but I think if there's anybody that's mean, I just remember Losiah once somebody made fun of him. He may have been 10, 9 at church, and he came back and said, well, you know what? Like it kind of, was a little bit of a bigger deal how someone made fun of him. And he's like, well, I've heard that they're having a hard time with their parents at home. So like already, like
again, that goes back to that question earlier. Like we have taught our kids that people's actions that are usually negative and not kind and not good are a result of pain in their life.
Yeah. Yeah. So if and also understand this, like
it doesn't mean it's acceptable.
Well, and you don't have like your kid isn't like a robot that you can plug in a chip and suddenly they're a nice girl versus a mean girl. Like don't let, if your child, so if this question is coming from my daughter is mean, don't let that be a reflection on you and suddenly you feel shame for whatever.
Oh, for sure.
There's a pain point in your daughter.
I have a good example.
Okay, great.
So Hayla and Sayana are friends with these twins. They still are friends. They were over here last week. They've been friends for 15 years. And so they're a little itty bitty, but the twins are phenomenal singers. And so Hayla can carry a tune. Sayana, she didn't get the musical gene. So when they would be little and they would be playing at the piano and like, everyone's singing Taylor Swift, and Sayana was trying, but she knew she wasn't great. Sayana would be mean. She'd be controlling. She would say things that would cut. But no, the girls didn't realize it's because she feels less than, or, however she would want to fill that part in. But as a parent, I was able to see, she's doing that because she wants to sing. She wants to be able to be like the other three in that capacity. And they never said anything to her. They didn't make fun of her or anything like that. But yet, if you can't do something. And so she knew she can do it. And that would then filter in. And so just trying to help your kids either A, acknowledge that, or B, like kind of, just handle with care. I think teaching your kids to understand people are hurt, but then also not to if you're raising somebody and you see your kid being mean, okay, the why, what's causing that? Always go back to what's the root of that? What is causing her to act and be grouchy, be mean?
Yeah. And also take that just as serious as you would any other medicating behavior. So like
absolutely.
Like if your kid is smoking drugs or drinking and they're 15, you're probably going to put them in therapy. You're probably going to get help. If your kid is mean, maybe they can talk to a therapist. Maybe they can talk to a counselor. Maybe you can, lean into finding what is the pain point that is causing it. So
it's just being mean is just an outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny as I scroll these questions, Heather.
Wow.
What?
You never call me Heather.
Oh, I don't.
Heather.
Sorry. That's
Carlos.
like my podcast. You're just like my co-host. You're Heather. The amount of how to survive the middle school years, how to make it through the teenage years. Like the amount of that is a lot, which actually also shows me that where the majority of my Insta Familia is parenting in.
I know, because I was going to say, the girls I was with today, they're like, how are we going to survive this? The little years.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that these are seasons, and there's a beginning to a season. There's an end to a season. They will make it through the season. You just have to hang.
In the season, there's like ups and downs, right? Like we've loved teenage years, and would probably say if we had to redo a season because we enjoyed it so much, it would be teenage years. And yet it's been the most brutal of all of our kids having to face things that are heavy and hard and literally like have us in tears at night at times.
Oh man.
And so like we're aware of the hardness of life, of the things that our kids have to deal with, and it's brutal.
It is. And so just understand that we know.
But here's the thing. We can't just what's the word? Resign to, teenagers are terrible.
Right.
Let them go and hope they come back. Like you literally have to lean in and press hard and really be there for them. Even when you're the last thing I want to be around right now, you have to figure out what is a common place that you guys can connect on, that you guys can, and do things just like Lisette. Like Lisette, you've all heard our podcast. If you haven't heard our podcast, we were very open to the fact that we like to argue together. And so he asked me one day to drive, and I said, I can't, because when I taught the girls to drive, we argued the whole time. Now I didn't have a relationship with the girls where we fought a lot. So that argument was fine. But with Osiah, I'm trying to protect our relationship. And I don't want to argue with him. I want to actually have, a relationship that is kind and loving. So Carlos is so patient as a teacher let's try that again. Carlos is so patient at teaching our kids how to drive that he gets to carry that for us. So I think just learning kids, where to push, where not to push.
Yeah, I like that. You have 7 minutes left.
Ooh, give me a good question.
I like this one. How to navigate your struggle with church, but make sure your kids know Jesus. Maybe Heather can't answer that because she doesn't have a struggle with church.
I don't have a struggle with church.
So this person is saying, maybe there. Someone else asked me this question on tour as well in Dallas. We've raised our kids in the church and youth group, and suddenly we have a problem with the church, and we are no longer going to that church anymore, or even we're just starting to deconstruct and starting to think differently about faith in general, but our kids have their own faith too. How do we continue to parent them well while us as parents may be navigating difference of beliefs than what we've raised them as?
Why didn't you answer that one?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm a little more...
well, go ahead. Say what you're a little more, and then I'll come back. Okay. Yeah, there's not going to. I would say this. Just make sure that... I think we all want to raise kids with our own value systems, but as we continue to grow ourselves, let your kids, if your kids are loving their community in the youth group, and if they're like, I can't fathom it would be a good parenting decision to just yank that away from them, because suddenly what you've done is you pulled out the rug from underneath them. Even if you have a problem with maybe what you think, the church looks like in 2023, guess what? It's probably a lot safer space for your kid. And so, don't just yank it out from underneath them. Talk to them about it. Let them know if you've decided to, stop going on Sundays, maybe you can still take them, So I guess I just would say, just be careful because any drastic decision you make is going to impact, and even if it's small little traumas, like it could be traumatic for a kid to get, pulled out of something because the parent somehow, now believes differently. So anyway, I answered that for you, babe. I was really hoping you'd answer because I could see your eyebrow doing that thing.
It's still doing the thing, but
No, I know. We'll talk about that in another series. How about, let's see, healthy habits with technology?
Honestly, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't give my kids technology until they're like 16. Yeah. And they could be the weird ones that wear homemade dresses. But it's just too much for them. I think it's too much it's too much for us as adults, and they don't have the capacity. They don't have the brain. Literally, their brain is not developed. And yet we're placing this loaded gun in their hand, and they just don't have the capability for it. So, and then I would ease into, different things. That's one thing I would do totally different if I had to start over.
Yeah. I agree. I think the data is clear on that. I don't think there's, you read what screen time does to a kid's brain. Like the research is coming out. And so, it is still relatively new. I think just like cigarettes were in the 1940s, suddenly they had to put warnings on them. I think all those things, but also I think that understanding that your kid is going to, at 18 years old, going to move out. Maybe it could be 20, who knows? But at some point is going to leave your covering, and they're going to walk out with a device in their hands. Right. So how do you prepare them adequately to do that in as healthy a way as possible? So,
and I just answered a question. Someone the other day asked this, and I feel like it's less about like limiting screen time and actually providing them with enough fun in life and enjoyment in life and things to do in their life. And that could be work, that could be reading, that could be, it's not like all play, but like that they don't really have time to have screen time, you know, like
they want to do other things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and again, I think it's just going to be a constantly shifting target.
Right.
Losai and I the other day were like, hey, so what app on your phone are you having the hardest time quitting? What is, for me, that would be Instagram, right? For him, it may be something else. So it's like constantly asking yourself, okay, what is the thing that I can't stop? And then trying to, put something in place for that to happen. So I just think it's constantly moving.
What's your favorite thing that you did as a parent?
What's my favorite thing I did as a parent? Probably for me, it was when the kids were smaller. I was just, this is going to sound so lame, but it was on the bed, all three of them
tickle fight,
constantly tickle monster is what we called it. Yeah. And we would just do that for, it felt like hours. I love that. And it was like my physical touch, affection kind of, piece of it. How about you?
Probably like same age range of just like family nights.
Yeah.
Where I would do like take a theme birthday party and pare it down. Like I would go to the dollar store and maybe spend $5 and print out things, but like if it was butterfly night, we'd have butterfly headbands and butterfly coloring pages, and we make pancakes that look like butterflies, and it just was once a week we had something fun to look forward to. And that was like, the kids look back at that. That was great.
What happened when Sohaila released her butterfly? After the butterfly pancake day,
a bird came and ate it right there in front of us.
Right in front of us. After she raised that butterfly from a little thing, it flew away and
it was a good move.
Was murdered.
We talked about Circle of Life.
Yeah, that was good.
In tears on the way to church.
Hey, babe, I really feel like we're going to actually have to do some more of this because this was.
I got to go get my warts taken off.
Okay, go get your warts taken off, and I'll come back in a second.